you've got to level up your marketing software in terms of its tracking capability. Google Analytics should be on the site, but it's not enough. Basically, end of story. Hey, I'm Spencer Powell, and welcome back to Builder Funnel TV, where remodelers and custom builders tune in for business growth strategies. Today, we are going to talk about the best way to track marketing and sales ROI. And this is a topic that I love talking about because one, it's numbers, and I love digging into the numbers, but two, it's actually something that is readily available and accessible to all sizes of businesses today. And this used to be a lot harder, and it used to be a lot more expensive. But with today's technology and software, there's some really easy things that you can do to make sure that you know exactly how your marketing is performing. And we'll talk about a couple of other metrics that I think are really nice to look at and can be critical for you making really smart decisions moving forward. And for me, that's what this all comes down to, is we want to look at some numbers and some real data so that when we go to make decisions about next quarter, next year, in the future, we can lean on that past success or past failure to dictate, kind of our decision tree for how we're going to move forward in time. And really, at the end of the day, this is all in an effort to see where your best customers are coming from. So let's keep that in mind as we move forward and talk about tracking, because we don't just want more of any type of customer, we really want more of our best customers. And if we can build our business around having the best type of customers for you, then you're going to have a really solid business. So first things first, let's talk about marketing and talking about tracking software on that side of the house. So you have a website, and that's great. You probably have Google Analytics or some form of analytics on that site, which means if somebody visits the website, Google's going to track that they hit the site, and then it'll track page views and some different activity, how long they stay on the site, if they went to multiple pages or just left right away. That's called bounce rate. So it's going to look at those types of things. Then maybe you've had somebody set up conversion tracking for you. So what that means is when somebody hits the site, they browse around, and then they fill out a form, they're typically going to land on what we call a success page, meaning, okay, they're only going to get to the success page if they fill out this form. And so the way the conversion works is if they land on the success page, we know they converted and filled out the form, because the only way they're going to get there is if they fill out the form and then we redirect them there. So that's called a very basic form of conversion tracking. So when you look in Google Analytics, if you have that set up, when you're looking at your traffic, you'll see different sources like organic, direct, paid search, social, referral sites, all the different ways that somebody could enter your website. And then as you move over on that chart inside Google Analytics, if you have conversion tracking set up, you'll see the percentage that hit the site and then converted into a lead. So somebody that filled out a form, we call that just a raw lead, somebody that made that conversion. And so you can see a percentage, which is great, and then you see a raw number. We had 10 people convert on our website into leads this month. So that is 101, and that is not enough. So if you're sitting there and you have well, maybe that's 102. 101 might be, hey, you've got Google Analytics set up. Conversion tracking might be 102. What we need to get to is 201, and that is going to be adding in an extra layer, which is instead of seeing that raw number over on that side of the screen, 10 conversions this month. The problem with that is we don't know who those 10 conversions are. There's no names and emails attached to them. We can see forms that have come in, and we have those forms. And those are just individual forms that hit your inbox, and you go, okay, this person converted, and you probably have 10 of those. And then you go and look at Google, and it'll say, well, we had 5 from organic, and 3 from direct, and 2 from social. So now when we look at these 10, we don't know which one came from organic, which came from direct, and which came from social. We just know we got 10 leads. And so therein lies the problem. And that is when 2 of those leads turn into a customer, we don't know what the original source was. All we know is they came off the website. Well, of course they came off the website. That's where everybody's going these days. Even if they were referred to you, even if they came from a sign, if they came from anywhere, they're probably going to hit your website. and they're probably either going to log a call or fill out your contact us form. And so if you think about that and you go, okay, I closed 2 projects, so I know my conversion rate all the way through for marketing, this many visits to 10 leads to 2 customers, awesome. But we don't know if those 2 customers came from organic or direct or social. And so when we go to make decisions around channels we want to invest in, and we're saying, gosh, should we keep working with that SEO company, or should we do more around SEO to improve our organic strategy, or should we write more blogs and improve our content to build up our organic strategy? Maybe, maybe not, because we don't know where those 2 customers came from. Or, hey, should we invest more time in social media? Should we be doubling the amount of time we invest in Instagram and Facebook? I don't know, because we don't know where those 2 customers came from, if it was which of those channels. So you need to add in an extra layer of software. We're huge proponents of HubSpot. We're partners of theirs. We've been using them for over a decade now. But there are a number of other platforms out there that do this sort of thing. There's Marketo and Fusionsoft, and probably about a dozen or 2 dozen others. At this point, there's like 5,000 or 7,000 marketing tools out there online. So a lot to choose from. But the point being, you need to install some software that's going to take it to the next level. An example of how this plays out with HubSpot is somebody hits the site, they visit some pages, and they fill out the form. Now we still get all that conversion tracking, but then we can click on the conversions, those 10 conversions. We can click on that and see who the 10 people were and which channels they specifically came from. And so what this starts to do is when you start closing deals, you know that Mary Smith came from organic search and it was a $300,000 project. That's really helpful information for moving forward. So you've got to level up your marketing software in terms of its tracking capability. Google Analytics should be on the site, but it's not enough. Basically, end of story. You're just going to be flying blind. There's no other way to cut it. You need something else that's going to give you that data. Otherwise, you're just going to keep guessing and guessing and guessing. You're going to have a lot of unknowns in your digital marketing, and that's probably why a lot of people are really frustrated with their digital marketing, is they actually don't have the correct tracking software set up. And if you don't, then you're just going to keep spinning your wheels. You'll keep rehiring different agencies. You'll keep trying different things, and you'll just feel like you're not making any progress. So we want to avoid that. Tracking is really important. Get that set up. All right, so let's talk about CRM. So that is the sales side of the house. We talked about marketing. That's tracking, the different sources that are creating the leads and generating the leads. And then we're going to move into CRM, and that's a system that's going to track all the contacts. It's going to allow you to follow up. You can track your sales pipeline and those conversion rates. So from first meeting to design meeting to construction contract, all of those different phases that you go through to sign a customer, that's what your CRM is going to do, and it's going to give you a lot of reporting on sales activity, conversion rates through the pipeline, and then overall just like closing ratios and details like that. Now, the end goal of where we want to go is that you have your sales tools, your CRM, connected to your marketing tools, because then when you close the loop, you take somebody from marketing, they come in organic search, they browse a few pages, they fill out a form, they get 4 marketing email newsletters, they book a meeting with your sales team, and then they get a couple more email newsletters, your sales team follows up or you follow up. They revisit the website, they look at a few project pages, and then you finally sign a design agreement, and then you sign into construction, and now they're a customer. All of that gets put into one timeline, and when you close the deal on that $300,000 project, you go back and you can see, great, Mary Smith came from organic search, led to $300,000 in revenue. Now I actually know what my marketing was doing and what originally brought that lead in. And then you can also see the influence marketing had, which is the emails, the website revisits, visiting new projects, and them engaging with your content throughout the sales process, because they might have a meeting, then they'll go back to the site, then they have another meeting, they go back to your website, they hit a few more pages, they read a few more blogs. So that will give you a lot of insight as to what created the lead, but also influenced the lead to close the deal. And so at the end of the day, we want to see, one, what channels are producing revenue and how much revenue. So organic search, how many customers and how much revenue. Paid search, Google Ads, how many customers, how much revenue. Social media, same thing. You can go down the list and you can see all that. But not only that, if we have both of these systems tied together, the more important question is we can see, okay, now of all those customers, which ones were the highest margin? Which ones were the best projects, the ones we want more of? And then maybe we start to see some patterns. We're like, hey, these two channels, we go back here, those produced the best and highest margin projects. Let's focus on improving those channels and doubling down on those channels, and maybe we skinny up the other ones. And so that's the kind of data that you get, and that leads to the types of decisions that actually lead to a business benefit. And so that's why I'm so passionate about tracking and reporting and getting the right marketing tools and the right sales tools installed, because otherwise you're just going to keep spinning your wheels, you're just going to be flying blind, and you won't know what a lot of your marketing is doing. So highly recommend getting those things set up. And if you have questions or need help setting those things up, book a call with us. We'd be happy to guide you in the right direction. builderfunnel.com/blueprint, blueprint, not blueprint, builderfunnel.com/blueprint. And book a time. You'll see a calendar there. You can grab some time with our team. We'd love to help talk you through kind of how do you evaluate, and then what are some quick steps to get that sort of software up and running so that you aren't flying blind anymore. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. See you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.